The day is finally here. Ta-da! We've got two of them.
We do.
Two whole books, two whole army books. The third army book that we've been waiting for since December.
Yes.
Since the announcement of the new edition, the release of the new edition, the release of the two army books.
Yep. The
missing 33% of lists.
Yes. And...
Oops. I just got to the top down. Carry on.
Okay. Thing is, has it lived up? Will it live up to expectations? Are people going to be happy it's here, or is it going to come out and everyone's going to go,
Well, this is the thing. There had been some leaks beforehand. We've got our hands on the books now.
Yes.
We haven't had a chance to go through all the profiles.
Nope.
But what we did do is skip ahead to two army sections and do a battle based on them. Yes. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to focus.
No. We had a go at Khazad-dûm versus the Easterlings.
Yes, and well, you say in the battle, might as well say again here, they were not competitive meta lists. No. They were what we had, what we could put together to do a fun battle as quick as we could.
Pretty much. We wanted to make use of these books as soon as possible, and I quite fancied Easterlings, you quite fancied Khazad-dûm, so we just salvaged what we had and put them to war. And it was good fun. I say good fun. I'm not spoiling the battle. I'm just saying I felt very ill all the way through. Yeah. But yeah, fun nonetheless. Anyway, today, we're going to go through the good army profiles.
Yes.
Have a read of them. We're not going to be showing you much, for copyright reasons. We're not going to just leak the entire book. But what we will do is have a flick through, have a read through the profiles, and I guess just give our feedback and our opinions on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some stuff is repeated from the Arnor, Angmar PDFs and stuff, so those things we'll kind of skip over a bit more.
True.
We'll kind of just pick up on some of the main stuff. We're not going to go through every little bit in detail today.
One thing I'm going to point out from the start is every, faction has its own custom artwork, which shows off, some different weapons and armor and shields, things like that. I absolutely love those. Big win for me right from the get-go. I'm
guessing for that one, the one staff is Radagast's.
Yeah.
Which, if it is, that is a great design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big fan.
They're really cool. Really, really cool.
Okay.
Right, we start with the Free Peoples then.
Yep.
And the first we have is Frodo of the Nine Fingers.
Yes, we kind of work through our way of a lot of the Hobbits to start with.
And there's a lot of them.
Oh, yes. There needs to be. They're not worth anything.
Where's James Heyman?
Added page at the back. He's going to be in the Legacy. Yeah, so, I don't think these have changed massively. We never got the chance to use these properly. So, as a complete comparison, we won't know completely. But, yeah, they got the new updated intelligence, everything we expect. Frodo is always a frustrating one. He's 70 points and he can't fight. It's just kind of like,
What do you mean? He's strength 2.
Yeah, but he can't charge, and if he does get...
but as if I'm being serious. Strength 2, but...
He could potentially kill something, but he can't even charge, and even if he wins, he can't strike. So, that's a great 70 points.
Hang on, wait. What, he can't charge?
No, this is Frodo...
I haven't even read this.
Oh, no, this is Frodo after the war. He will not... it's like when he doesn't want Wormtongue to die either.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fight, so he refuses to kill. So he's basically... I don't even know. I'm unsure why you would have him.
Yeah, he doesn't have the ring at this point.
Yep.
He doesn't...
He can heroic defense.
Wow.
So he can survive, I guess, is the main thing, but...
70 points?
Yeah.
The only benefit of him is he's a 6-inch banner.
Yeah.
But you're better off taking 2 banners. I don't know if hobbits can have banners, probably not. But still, what a waste.
Yeah. So it's a weird one.
Yeah.
I kind of say, the Hobbits are just the Hobbits. We can flick through them, but there's nothing particularly groundbreaking with them. I don't think they're going to suddenly be coming in and winning tournaments or anything.
No. Like Samwise the Brave, for example, 60 points. He has Sworn Protector Frodo, Sworn Protector Rosie. Is Rosie even a playable model?
Yeah.
Oh, she is. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense then.
Yes. Of all the named ones, so we got, obviously, the main Hobbits. We've got Fatty Bolger, Paladin Toog, Will Whitfoot, Holford, Robin Smallborough, Falco Boffin, Farmer Tolman Cotton even, Lotho Sackville Baggins, Baldo Tolpenny, Militia, Archer, Sheriffs. Could have sworn.
And that's it.
I could have sworn Rosie. Or is she in... Oh, no, I think she's in the old book for the one with the few hobbits. You could have like Gandalf's cart and stuff. I've forgotten the name of the list off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This is way more named heroes than I thought existed in this game.
Yeah.
Like, it shows pictures of all the models. I had no... I don't even recognize half of these. I had no idea there was a Fatty Bolger model or a Folko Boffin. I didn't know any of these existed.
Yeah, it must just be a case of the hobbits aren't strong, so you're going to start needing lots of might. And I think this is their way of giving you lots of, one might. Just something, say they're all strength 2 pretty much, defense 3. They're not doing a lot. You get to the warriors, 4-point militias, 5-point archers, 5-point sheriffs.
Yeah. You could probably make a fairly overwhelming horde army out of them.
Oh, yeah. You would literally just be going on numbers, but it's that strength 2 that makes it so hard at the end.
Yeah.
I still want to give them a go. I really still want a Hobbit army.
You can paint them.
Yeah, they're going to be Hobbit army at night, and it's going to be a black and white theme.
Fair. All right, moving on with the free peoples then, we have Grimbjorn. 200 points.
Yes, but I love the idea. We have this one. Not painted, but we do have this one. I love the idea of the Bjornings. I think they're great. They're just, you get bears. You get bears and big people. So, for example, what's Grimbjorn? He's dominant 2. So,
and then if he becomes a bear, he becomes dominant 5, which is pretty savage.
Ooh, nice. I hadn't seen that. Yeah. Oh, that is just so beastie. And gets monstrous charge. That's always handy when you have 3 attacks.
Yeah. It's funny, you look at the profile for Grimbjorn and... Okay. He's 5'5", strength 5, defense 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 333. That's a solid base profile. But then you look at it and think, 200 points though. And then you look across the page at Grimbjorn the bear, and he becomes strength 8, defense 8. That is... Yeah. I would like to give that a go, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yowza.
Definitely would. What's his brutal power attack? Crushing strength. If he wins a duel roll, he can choose to use this brutal power attack. If he does, choose a single enemy model involved in combat. The chosen model immediately suffers a strength 10 hit.
Oh.
If the to-wound roll is successful, even if the wound is prevented, the model immediately suffers another strength 10 hit, and so on until either Grimbjorn fails a to-wound roll or the chosen model is slain and removed as a casualty. So even if you're coming up against Durin, defense 9, you're basically going on 4s until you don't roll a 4.
Wow.
It's an insane thing. But imagine even coming against the Balrog, for example. Okay, very high defense, but there's no fate. So if you make the wound, you can't prevent it. You could, in theory, get 4 or 5 wounds gone in one go.
Oh my lord.
Beornings, I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah, I hadn't... So you said this to me earlier in private that without looking at it, you're excited to see how these perform. And I was like, I'm not really fussed.
Yeah.
After actually delving into the profile and looking at this excites me.
I think it's because monsters have had a good buff this edition, and they're bears. They're big bears. I feel like they've got to be something good. The Fight 7 might be where they're it's good, but you've got a lot of Fight 7 heroes now. So they don't stand out, and I don't... Oh no, he does have Heroic Strike. My bad. In my head, he didn't. Okay, he has Heroic Strike as well, so he could actually get up to 10. Yeah, I like it. But Bjorn, I believe, is actually in the other book, so we can't compare Grimbjorn and Bjorn off the bat.
So a Beorning,
yeah,
they can't turn into bears. It's just
it's
just normal Grimbjorn, yeah.
Yes, just the Bjorn and Grimbjorn.
Yeah, okay.
Saying Bjorn too many times starts to get really weird. Bjorn, but they are. They're 20 points, so they are hefty. But they are 2 attack models, strength 4, fight 5s, hand and a half weapons, and they can have great bows. So that means they've got powerful bows that hit.
And they're free. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I look at that and I think fight 5, strength 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 20 points. That's less than the points of a ranger, and in my opinion, way better.
We'll get on to the rangers, I think. That's touchy. I guess it's kind of a spoiler reveal, maybe, that the next tournament will be hosting ourselves.
Yeah.
It will be at a certain point value. And part of me is wondering if some Bjornings would be quite fun to take to that.
Yeah, I think they probably would.
Oh, that's interesting. Although I have said Imrahil as well. I don't know. But Bjornings would be fun.
Yeah.
Whether that would be Bjorn, Grimbjorn and Bjornings or one of them and a load of Bjornings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We also have another 3 peoples, Gan Burigan and the Woses warrior. I'm not going to lie, couldn't care less really. Though they do have hatred goblin, hatred orc, hatred urukai, which is pretty cool. Then poison attacks with their blowpipe, stalk unseen, woodland creature. Quite a lot of special rules. But fight 3, strength 3, 1 attack, 1 wound. They're okay. I mean, you probably could make use of these, to be fair, but not for me. Even aesthetically, they don't appeal to me, you know?
No, I think that's the issue. Like, I've just got no interest in these at all. There will be people, like I said, all the hatreds will, and poisoned attacks, all that together could do something good, but... Yeah.
Again, though, really, really cool artwork. So, good job, GW art team.
Yes.
Tom Bombadil is up next.
And thankfully, he still looks like that, not like the other one. To be fair, I haven't really seen anything about Tom yet.
No, he does have the question mark profile, so it's just all question marks.
How many points was he in the last edition?
I can't remember.
No. I'm not sure. Oh god, do you want to read Tom is the Master or shall I?
I'll go for it.
Okay.
So Tom Bombadil treats all kinds of terrain as open ground and always treats the result of climb, leap, jump and swim tests as a 6. Nice, he's athletic. Tom cannot be targeted by any ability, special rules, magical powers, brutal power attacks or shooting attacks, either friendly or enemy. Wow. This means that any magical attacks that would target Tom will automatically be resisted, even if they would target multiple models. If Tom is hit by a missile weapon as a result of a failed in the way test, the shot will automatically disappear and have no effect. He has no control zone. Enemy models cannot move into base contact with him for any reason unless Tom's controlling player explicitly allows it. Interesting. Enemy models cannot move into... I just read that. If a model would be forced into base contact with Tom, then they will stop just before moving into contact. Tom may charge enemy models as normal, and his side will automatically win any combat that he's involved with. However, when they do, friendly models may not make strikes in combat. He may never carry objects under any circumstances, and may never be chosen in scenarios that require a player to choose a specific hero model.
Okay. May never be chosen in a scenario that requires players to choose a specific hero model.
So I guess...
right, like when you choose like...
Is it Fog of War when you've got to knock down a hero? Yeah.
I mean, that would be dumb as well, to go, I'm going to try and... My target to kill is Tom Bombadil. Yeah, you can't target him for anything. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of fun to have with that, but it's 120 points to take a character who's just there to annoy.
Well, there is other... I'm slouching down, getting a bit more comfortable. There's more things, like sing a jolly song, if you want to read that out.
Yep, so at any point during his activation, he may spend a will point, of which he has 12, to sing one of the songs listed below and gain the relevant effect. He may sing any number of these songs during his activation and may sing each of these songs as many times as he wishes during his activation unless otherwise stated. Every time he sings a song, it will cost him a will point. You have Hey Come Merry Doll. Choose a friendly model within 6 of Tom, then the chosen model immediately regains a single wound lost earlier in the battle.
Wow.
A model may only be chosen by this song once per turn. It's still great. Then you've got Hop Along My Hearties. Until the end of the turn, friendly models that begin their activation within 6 of Tom may add 3 inch to their move and will treat all areas of difficult terrain as open ground.
Wow.
Then you have Wake Now My Merry Lads. Choose a friendly model within 6 of Tom. The chosen model immediately recovers from the effects of any magical powers currently cast upon them. Additionally, until the end of the turn, the chosen model cannot be chosen as the target of any enemy magical powers or special rules.
Ring-a-dong-dillo.
Ring-a-dong-dillo. Until the end of the turn, friendly models within 6 inches of Tom Bombadil automatically pass all courage tests they are required to take. Very handy. And Get Out You Old White. Choose an enemy spirit model within 6 of Tom. The chosen model immediately suffers a wound. This song may only be sung once per turn.
Okay, so those are really cool.
That could be
used effectively.
Game-changing.
Yeah, game-changing. Again, not something we used in the previous edition. I don't know how different this is, unfortunately, but those of you that have used Tom will probably know. He has one more, which is Tom has his house to mind. Tom Bombadil must give up a will point during the end phase of any turn in which he is engaged in combat. Should Tom be reduced to 0 will points, or if there are no friendly models on the board other than himself and or Goldberry, then he will simply wander off back to his homestead. Remove him as a casualty.
So kind of like, rates.
Yeah.
We're now, well, bye.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't know if he appeals, like,
He
he'd be a
appeals...
fun experiment,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't take him competitively just because...
No, it would be like I did for Shadow and Flame 2, where if I was TOing and I had to step in with a list, taking Tom Bombadil for a bit of fun, I think would be quite cool.
Well, I remember last edition when the Alliance Matrix was a thing, people were adding him into their lists to like supplement certain things. And yeah, if the Alliance Matrix was still a thing, that I could still see that happening with those benefits. So yeah. Moving on.
We do have Goldberry, who has her own songs, similar kind of roles by the seam of it, less will. So I think she's just basically a lesser version of Tom. Again, I don't know if we want to go into too many details. We don't really want to just be reading the whole book.
No.
I think people kind of get the idea with Tom and Goldberry. So we can move on.
To Rohan, and I'm again going to show off this really cool artwork. Oh, look at that, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Big fan of this new style.
Cool. So with these, we've basically got some, we got two. Okay, 2 heroes to add in. We got Daelwine, Chief of the King's Knights, and Elfhelm, Captain of Rohan, at 70 and 60 points apiece. Each can take a horse for 20 points. They're basically very good captains.
Yeah, I mean, both... Oh, I say Daelwine is actually really good. Fight 5, Strength 4, Defense 7, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, and 2/2/2. That's pretty good. And he also has Expert Rider, Horse Lord, Leader of Royal Guard, and Sworn Protector Theoden. And has 4 Theoden, which is during the declare heroic action step of the fight phase. If Theoden is engaged in combat within 6 of Daelwine, then he may declare a free heroic combat. If it's successful, then he must make the following move to join Theoden's combat. If not possible, he must move as close as possible to Theoden. He cannot use this special rule if he's in the same combat as him. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
I like rules like that.
For a fight 5, and if he's obviously mounted and charged, that's great. Elfhelm as well, he's got the spear, throwing spears, counters, but he's also got pinpoint accuracy, so he never suffers the -1 penalty for moving and shooting when using his throwing spears. Additionally, when throwing his throwing spears, he may reroll any failed to hit, to wound, or in the way rolls when making shooting attacks. I think that's a pretty cool...
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty cool one. They're kind of nice additions, nice thing to boost up Rohan and give you a bit more variety.
Yep.
With that, on to Gondor.
Gondor.
So we have Aena, which we know about because of the previous supplements.
Yes.
So we don't really need to go into him.
Rise of Angmar.
Yes. Then we have the return of Hurin the Tall, Warden of the Keys. I always liked this model. Never really used him though. He's basically just a very good captain. I say very. He's just an improved captain again. He's been added into a few lists, like atop the wall and stuff as well, which I think is quite handy.
He's got heroic strength and strike as well, which is obviously a massive
Yeah.
plus to most captains. Defense 6, strength 4, 3 might. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, if he's within 3 inches of the general as well, he automatically passes courage tests and re-rolls natural ones when making strikes. And while he is alive and on the battlefield, your opponent cannot score any victory points for wounding or slaying the enemy general, so long as your general has the Gondor keyword. So, yeah, I mean, basically, to get those general points, you need to do some double killing. That's not like a bad thing to have on your side at all, really, is it?
I like that a lot. The next one is Ingold, Warden of the Ramus Echor.
Yes.
I don't recognise this model.
I do.
It's very cool looking, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
70 points, similar situation, just kind of a good captain. Has Resolute Fighter, which is Ingold and friendly Gondor warriors within 3 of him do not back away if they lose a combat. Opponent must back away instead. It's important to note that models benefit from this special rule can still be trapped as normal, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's pretty standard rule.
Yep.
I like the model though, I like that a lot.
Yep.
Aragorn is one that's had quite a drastic change, I believe.
Yes, he was very much a minor hero, I think it was before. He's only like 30 odd points. And he's kind of been turned into a proper hero now. Proper hero. He's a proper guard of the Citadel now. So with it, he's got his heroic accuracy. He's now up to 2 might, 2 will, 2 fate. And with that, he also has a role of an unlikely friendship. Whilst within 3 inches of a friendly Pippin, Baragon may reroll any failed to wound rolls when making strikes.
I like this, and I'm glad they've made him more of a serious character, because he's got a fairly big part in the books.
Yeah.
Like, he spends quite a lot of time with Pippin. And
yeah,
I like Baragon. Ooh, the Gondor Avenger Bolt Thrower.
Yeah, I mean, these things just seem fun.
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah, it's kind of bolt throwers are bolt throwers. They're siege weapons as such. So I'm not sure how much we need to look too much at those.
Nope. Let's get on to the one that people were quite excited for.
Yes.
And this is one of the ones that was leaked.
Yep.
We already have our Imrahil models.
Yes, we do. And I'm still very excited to use him.
Yeah.
However, 160 points for Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth is just a bit expensive.
It is expensive.
So for all of those 160 points, you got a fight 7 model, strength 4, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage of 4 plus intelligence of 3 plus with 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate. And that's a good hero.
It is.
However, if you then want to put him on a horse and give him a lance, it's another 30 points. 190 point hero, I don't see that. Because his special rules are his standfast is 12 inches rather than 6. Okay, that's good, but yeah. And then friendly Dol Amroth models treat Prince Imrahil as a banner with a range of 6. So he's not a banner for VP, but he's treated as a banner. I just don't see where there's 190 points worth of model in that.
No,
like,
neither do I.
So in the battle, obviously, and we'll get on to Khazad-dûm, we use Durin. He's 170 points.
Yeah.
But he has like his axe, he's got the crown, he can reroll priority. Like there's a lot of extras with him for 170 points. You kind of go, okay, I can see where a lot of these come from.
Yeah.
And even defense 9, like there's like special stats in there.
Yeah.
Imrahil just doesn't have him. And with it, we were kind of hoping for a good army bonus to go with it to maybe boost him, but...
Do you know what we do get with Imrahil though, which I think is factored into the points?
What's that?
The rule of cool. Dude is so cool.
He is.
I don't know what it is, but Imrahil, something about him, it's just cool.
Yeah, that is very true. Still going to definitely give him a go, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So with him, obviously, you've got the captains and the knights. Knights are still 11 points base. And if you then want to give them an armoured horse with the lance, that's another 9, so you're looking at 20-point knights.
Yeah.
I don't think that's particularly unreasonable. Strength 3 plus 1 on the charge.
And they also, within 3 of Imrahil, get +1 fight value.
Yeah, so they become fight 5, which is good. I think they almost should be base fight 5, though.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. Along with them, you've got the other heroes like Forlong the Fat, Dween here, Angbor, along with their like archers, clansmen, axemen. Yeah, they're all okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing particularly impressive in a way. I like that Angbor now has Mighty Blow. I can't think if he had it in the old one. But being able to do 2 wounds for every wound I like.
Yeah. Now, should we move on to Kingdoms of Men? Because there's some things to discuss in this.
Okay, so some of these we've already had.
Yeah, so Arvedui, things like that, Aranarth, Malbeth, Argadir, they were all in the Rise of Angmar supplement. But then we get to Rangers of the North. Now, it's been quite a big thing in the community with people complaining about how they've been disrespected.
Yes.
And I agree. However, we already had the profiles for these models in the Rise of Angmar book. So were people expecting them to rechange them?
I think it was they were hoping for more within that army. Same as Fiefdoms. They were just hoping that there were some army bonuses that were like, okay, you take them in their army, they hit harder, rather than like when you're just bringing them into like the generic Pelennor Fields ones and stuff.
It's weird because like 25 points for a Ranger of the North, and I think 2 out of the 3 lists you can take them in, they get 2 attacks instead of 1. At 25 points, how would they base 1 attack, 1 wound? I don't see it.
What
Fight
do they,
4, defense 4.
Yeah, what tends to be the thing is like, what, a point of might, a point of will, a point of fate, you kind of assume it's 5 points each. That's what...
Yeah.
You kind of assume 5 points for every point of that. So that's 15 points. But then you strip those away, that's not a 10-point standard warrior either.
No, fight 4.
Okay, yeah, they hit on 3s, but they've only got a standard bow.
Yeah.
If they didn't Alf bow, maybe you could go, okay, yeah, well, they got strength 3 bow, so that's something else. But
yeah,
is it because they could, I mean, you could call heroic accuracy, but how often do you really want to do that with them when they've got 1 might?
Yeah, I'm just, if you've watched this channel for a while, you'll know I'm a big fan of Rangers in general. They're my favourite kind of faction in Middle-earth, and I enjoy the idea of using them, but I think GW do need to FAQ. They need to be at least fight 5.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to change. Make them fight 5 and base 2 attacks, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else. But for 25 points for that, I think it sucks.
That would make more sense.
Yeah. I would even say fight 5, 2 attacks base, and then maybe 2 wounds and no fate. I don't know. Maybe. Like War Drakes. War Drakes are basically that profile. fight 4, strength 4, defense 4, but they base have 2 attacks, 2 wounds.
Yeah.
And they're 20 points.
Yeah.
You know? What did I say? Wardrakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Okay, we move on to Brand, King of Dale. And now, I think this will be a good comparison to Prince Imrahil.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay. King Brand is 110 points. Prince Imrahil is 160. Is there 150 points worth of differences between these then? Imrahil, you get...
points of difference.
What did I say?
150.
Oh, don't think it'd be that worth it. Yeah, so, okay. Is this worth 50 points? +2 to your fight value, going from 5 to 7.
That's pretty good.
Same strength, same defense, same attack, same wounds. 1 more courage, 2 more intelligence. Honestly, the intelligence one is a bit irrelevant for these. +1 courage then, and 2 fate. That's your base stats.
Exactly the same special
Same roll with Standfast. And his other one is, at the start of combat involving Bran, check to see if Bran would be considered trapped should his side lose the duel roll. If he would be considered trapped, then you may re-roll a single d6 during the duel roll, and may re-roll a single d6 when rolling to wound. So that's a couple of re-rolls compared to being treated as a banner.
Yeah, I think I probably prefer that one, if I'm honest.
For 50 less points, I think I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, Bran can still strike.
Yeah.
Like, it's still an option.
Yeah.
I know Imrahil can as well, but it is one of those where...
There's no secret, like Imrahil's better.
Yeah.
But is he 50 points, potentially 70 points better, or was it 80 points with the...
So you're basically going, okay, you could take Brandon, 4 Knights of Dale, or Imrahil.
Yeah.
When he's on foot. Even more if you want the mounted version.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think as a comparison, that's a pretty safe way of going, yeah. Anyway, moving on from
Bard II, Prince of Dale, 100 points. So only 10 less than Brand. Really, really similar base stats. Fight 5, strength 4, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and then 3-2-2. But has Wall of Blades, which is this model gains a bonus of +1 to wound when making strikes with their spear against a model that charge into them. So it's a pretty cool one.
Yep.
I like that. And Knights of Dale have the exact same thing. So, I mean, I've said this before, but the right Dale list definitely appeals to me.
Yeah.
And if the Dale list where that you can take these guys and the Knights also has the archers hit on 3s instead of 4s bonus, then I'm in.
Yeah, potentially. Okay.
Glorfindel. I think we already have Glorfindel.
Yeah, we got the Battle for Us list, so a lot of these we have. Elidan Alvor here, I believe we already had. Rumil Orofin as Galadrim for Lothlorien. Yeah, I feel like they're kind of... we haven't had either of these before, so I'm not 100% sure on their previous stats, but they kind of seem like what you'd expect from a decent elf captain / hero type model. For example, Orofin, if he rolls a natural 6 when making a duel roll, he will make double the number of strikes he normally would make, which, since he has 3 attacks, that turns into 6.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, as I was reading that kind of got better. And considering his one heroic he can do is heroic strength. If you use strength and win, you're 6 attacks at strength 8.
That's a good model, considering he's strength 4, 3 attacks, fight 6.
But also note, if a model's trapped, it does not also gain the trapped thing.
Yeah, these sort of things don't stack.
Yeah. Yeah. Rumil's special is quite cool as well, actually. You may force one enemy model involved in the same combat as him to re-roll a single d6 of their duel roll. And it must be done before all other re-rolls are done and before any might is spent. So instead of your re-roll, you make them re-roll.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yep. Wood Elf Sentinels.
Yeah.
You used them before, haven't you?
Yeah, didn't really like them.
Yeah, Galadrim. Again, it's just kind of... I don't think anything particularly stands out with them.
Dwarves.
Now we move on to the Dwarves, who, yeah, I'm a fan of. So for 170 point Durin, fight 7, strength 4, defense 9, as always. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage and intelligence of 4+, with 3/3/1 might, will, fate. But he does have some cool specials. He does keep his Durin's axe, his unique master-forged 2-handed weapon. And he may re-roll a single d6 when making a duel roll. I think I may have forgotten that in our battle a bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's another additional roll that I wasn't actually using. His ring, which lets him re-roll a priority roll at one point in the battle. The Crown of Kings, where if he would suffer a wound on a natural 6, he prevents it. And the Horn of Zirag-Zagil, which is basically, it gives him terror.
Like, he is so much better than Imrahil.
Yeah, and you can also, for 2 points per model, make all the Khazad Guard Hearthguard, give them the Hearthguard upgrade, which makes them burly, so they don't suffer a -1 with their two-handed axe, which is a huge thing for them.
Yeah. Yeah, he is such a savage hero.
And he's fearless.
And D9.
Yeah. He is not fun to take down.
No.
I think Mardin has been improved slightly as well. I mean, he's still D8. I think he kind of benefits more from being around Durin. He basically has his unique spear, which has Trollbane. So basically he gets +1 to wound when making strikes against monsters. Which in this edition now, that's going to be pretty handy.
And he has Durin's Protector, so same as Wine, whatever his name was. Free combat to move towards Durin, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like a Dwarf Captain is defense 8. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah,
standard Dwarf Warriors, like they're natural defense 6. So you just give them a shield, as you can. You got D7 standard Warriors for 9 points.
Yeah. What's your average, like, normal army captain is defense 5, 6 with a shield.
Yeah.
Average captain price is probably 55 points.
Yeah, 55, 60,
So you're paying 10 points for a defense 8 Dwarf captain.
And they're fight 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strength 4. Well,
Yeah.
that's standard. But yeah, pretty insane. I love the Dwarves, man. They're so good.
Yeah. Like even standard Dwarf Warriors being fight 4 is tasty. Yeah. Iron Guard, I love. I'm a massive fan of them. It's just a cool way to have thrown weapons. They get 2 attacks.
And 15 points.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, again, poor Rangers, 15 points. These are the same fight value as Rangers, the same strength as Rangers, 2 higher defense than Rangers, 1 base attack more than Rangers, same wounds, and then they don't have might. But 10 points less.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up, GW. Not at all.
Or, even worse, Khazad Guard. Fight 5, strength 4, defense 7. And obviously, if you're taking them with Durin, giving them the upgrade, so for 14 points, they're burly. Two-handed weapon, so they're going to get +1 to wound, but not suffer that -1. And with Bodyguard as well, they're basically becoming fearless if they stay anywhere near.
Yeah, it's savage. And then on top of that, you get Dwarf Rangers, which are essentially dwarves with elven bows.
Yes, 1 point for a longbow. And yeah, so 9 point, hitting on 3, strength 3. And their bonus roll is quite cool. Not always that relevant for us, but they get +1 to wound if they're making strikes against a model that's within a difficult piece of terrain. Like, yeah, if you're in rocky terrains or ruins and they're going to try and kill, +1 to wound.
Savage.
Yep.
Massive fan of the Dwarves.
Yes.
The Vault Warden team.
Yeah.
Dwarven Ballista. Again, we're not going to go into too much detail on everything, but let's look at some of the, I guess, Hobbit-based models. So we've got Dane Ironfoot, King Under the Mountain.
Oh, this is War in the North.
Yes.
Time Bane,
Red
right?
Axe.
Bane? Dane.
130 points.
Yep.
Fight 6, Strength 4, Defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and then 331. Courage is 3+. Love it. He is fearless. He has Barazan Tathul, which is a unique Master Forged two-handed weapon. And has Venerable. Whenever he chooses to take a jump, climb, or leap test, he rolls 2d6 and chooses the lowest result.
He is old, to be fair.
Yeah. And King Under the Mountain, Dane Standfast will cover the entire battlefield, regardless of range. Additionally, friendly Erebor Dwarf hero models may benefit from his Standfast. So he inspires people.
He does. And yeah, he's cool. Never tried these ones.
No.
But to go with him, you have Thorin the Third Stonehelm, who is a D9 hero again at 110 points.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, 3 attacks, 2 wounds with 3 fate. So 3 fate, 2 wounds at D9. You're going to struggle to take him down. He even has heroic defense if it's really needed.
Oh, wow.
That just seems overkill. But whenever he declares a heroic action, roll a d6. On a 5+, the heroic action is free and no might is spent. Additionally, if he declares a heroic action and an enemy subsequently declares a heroic action, Thorin may choose to change the type of heroic action he has declared if he wishes.
Let's get him.
I like him.
Yes.
He's a good dwarf.
I like his beard.
Yes. And he has strength and strike. Yeah. In my opinion, if you're doing an army, I would take him over Dane.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah.
20 less points, and I feel like you're getting a bit more from him.
Yeah. It's just that red axe.
It's
so cool.
I mean, like I say, he inspires.
Yeah.
I would love to see him.
And it's actually the art that's on the next page that I think of. But what's funny is they've used like a really low quality version of this artwork, and I'm not sure you can tell on that, but up close it looks quite pixelated. Yeah. Anyway, we're on to the good army list. So let's actually look at in what way you can take these.
Okay, this means we start with the Battle of Bywater. So this is my list. It's basically lots and lots of hobbits. It's a lot of fun. But what special rules do they have? We have ambush. So at the start of the game, before either side is deployed, you may choose a single warband in your army that is not led by either Frodo, Sam, Merry, or Pippin. The chosen warband is ambushing and does not arrive as normal. Instead, at the end of the move phase on the third turn, after both sides have moved all their models, the ambushing warband must choose one of the following. They can move onto the board from any board edge via the rules for reinforcements, or deploy in or within 1 inch of a wood, building, rocky outcrop, or other similar piece of terrain that hobbits could hide in. A decree of common sense is required when deciding which pieces of terrain hobbits can hide in. They shouldn't be leaping out of a river or from behind a single rock. You should always agree with your opponent at the beginning of the game which terrain pieces are eligible for hobbits to ambush from. Models deployed in this way cannot be placed in base contact with or within control zones of enemy models. Models that enter the board in this way do not activate as part of the move phase and will count as having moved half their move value for the purpose of shooting. That's a pretty cool thing. That could be handy in certain situations. But along with that, you've also got Fear Fire Foes. Friendly Hobbit models gain the Woodland Creature and Mountain Dweller special rules. Yeah, that's very understandable. And also, friendly Hobbit hero models may benefit from the standfast of either Merry or Pippin.
It's just kind of funny to think that Merry and Pippin are like your good heroes.
Yeah. Hey, one has basically killed the Witch King.
Yeah.
I know Eowyn gets the credit, but Merry is the true hero there.
Yep.
And Pippin killed a troll in the actual lore.
And in the movies, saved Gandalf.
But also put Gandalf in the danger, most likely. Caused all the issues. And So
it's also worth pointing out that Rosie Cotton is available.
Yeah.
To select in this list.
Yeah. So I very much I want to do this on the channel.
Yeah.
I love the idea, but I don't. We kind of in the similar opinion of not particularly big fan of hordes for tournaments.
Yeah.
But for the channel, that one day we'll have a nice Hobbit board.
It's just finding the time to batch paint that many models.
Yeah.
If anybody out there wants to paint 80 Hobbits for us, or even 80.
Maybe not 80.
Maybe 50.
Maybe we do.
What's the goblins? What are they called?
Goblin Town.
The Goblin Town goblins. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to, we got so many of them. If you want to batch paint those for us.
Maybe that's the battle. Goblin Town versus Hobbits.
Yes.
Horde on horde.
Arathorn's Stand is next, but again, it's a list that we already had, so skip.
Yep.
The Grey Company then is the list. It was my top 3 I was looking forward to.
Yep.
It's Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Halbarad, Elladan, Elrohir, and Rangers of the North. However, Rangers of the North still suck, so hopefully the army bonuses make up for it.
Yeah, but this is Aragorn Strider, so not Anduril?
It is.
Okay.
You get Anduril for free. It's one of the army bonuses.
Right, okay.
You don't have to pay for it. So that's one bonus. The other one is Rangers of the North may benefit from the standfast of any other friendly unique hero model.
Yep.
Rangers of the North increase their attacks to 2, and they're not slowed down by difficult terrain.
Because what's worse as well is that base 25 points Ranger of the North. Obviously, the optional upgrades are you can give them armor.
Yeah.
You can give them a spear. They become 31 points apiece if you want that.
But then the defense 5.
Which, come up against some Dwarf Rangers. That makes no difference against their shooting.
True.
It's crying against strength 2 bows and stuff, but that D5, if it was taking them up to a D6, and then that 6 is against most things, that would...
It needed to be heavy armor.
Yeah, I think that would be more worthwhile than go, okay, at least they're D6.
I'm gutted. I honestly, I just really wanted to play a cool Ranger army. And playing a whole Ranger army is faff because they've all got might, will, and wounds to track. Well, not wounds, but to track. So it is a bit of a ball ache, but I was like, if it's good, it's worth it, but it just sucks. It really sucks. Okay, getting Anduril for free is cool, but...
Yeah, I mean, what would it be? 170 for Aragorn, 110 for Legolas. So what are you on? 280. 380 when you put Gimli in. If you give Halberd his banner, you go about 520. So 680. Basically around 680, 700 points for all the hero stuff. And then however many ranges you want to take on top of that.
Yeah.
It's still not very many. Not that I think you'd actually take all the heroes at once, but it'd be interesting to test out.
Yeah. Next up,
Ooh,
the Bjornings.
Yes.
You take, first thing, obviously, Bjorn, Grim, Bjornings.
Yep.
You look at this, let's say standard tournament maybe is 500 points.
Yeah.
A standard game people play is probably 500 points.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking 7 models.
If you take them both.
Yeah.
If you take Bjorn, then what would you have? 15 Bjornings. That's 16 models for 500 points. It's still low, but you're getting a bear.
You are getting a bear.
Not sure how great that really is, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a test.
Let's find out. So they've got great resilience as a special rule. Whenever a friendly bear model suffers a wound on a d6, it's ignored. So it's 6 up, no pain. Natural resistance. Friendly models gain the resistance to magic.
That's very handy.
Yes, depending on your matchup. And Ursine Fury? Ursine Fury? At the beginning of each move phase, before the declare heroic action step, you may roll a d6 for each friendly bear model you have on the battlefield. If any of the d6 roll a natural 6, then for the duration of the turn, enemy models suffer -1 to courage tests.
Because in the bears and stuff of terror, that could be quite handy, to be honest.
Not the greatest of special rules there, though.
No, I think most of their specials come, because they are what they are, most of their specials, I think, just come with the models more.
I would definitely be up for trying it. Probably not in a tournament at first. Maybe on the channel for sure. Like, we'll give this a go. But, yeah, I don't know.
Beornings are giant men. Hobbits are really small men. Is that the battle?
Yeah, what's
It'd only be about 5 to 1.
That classic debate. What's better? Less big strong things or loads of little small things? Yeah. It's like that debate that's been going around the internet recently. Like
the gorilla
versus 1 gorilla.
What's your opinion?
1 gorilla.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I think I could take on 100 5-year-olds, you know? It's kind of a similar sort of thing. I could. Don't doubt me, James.
You can barely play a game of football now without getting a pain in your hip.
Hey,
and 5-year-olds have endless energy.
I still take on all these trained martial artists every week and come out on top. So 5-year-olds have nothing on me as long as they're not trained.
Tune in next week for that. We'll have a Jake model and 100
Jameses. All right, moving on.
Fords of Eisen. This was a very strong list in the old edition.
It was.
This is Theodred's list, where you can also take Alfhelm, Captains, Riders, Royal Guards. So their special rules will be: friendly models gain the Swarm Protector Theodred special rule. If your army is broken, you gain the Dominant 2 special rule. All friendly models gain Dominant 2. Dominant. And it's been a long day.
It really has.
If Theodred is engaged in combat within 6 inches of Alfhelm, then enemy models may not make strikes against Theodred if there is another model they could strike against instead.
Okay.
That could be handy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a cool Rohan list to play.
Yeah.
Very thematic, really.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are going to really play this now, though.
No.
It's, again, one for the channel, definitely. Competitively, maybe not so much.
Yeah. Next up, we have Pass of the Druidan. It's Theoden with Eomer, Gamlin, Derwine, Elfhelm, Captain Rohan, Eowyn, Rider Rohan, and Woses Warriors. Is Gamburigan not on there?
Yeah, he was there.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
Eomer.
Okay, I see. Their special rules: if during the declare heroic action step of the move phase, both sides have declared a heroic move and a roll-off is required to see which happens first, this army will gain a bonus to that roll. If they would normally win the roll on a 4+, they'll win it on a 3. If they'd win it on a 1, 2, or 3, they'll win it on a 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Kill Orc folk. Friendly models may re-roll to wound rolls of a natural 1 when making strikes against Orc, Goblins, or Urukai models. And waypoints. At the start of the game, after both sides have been deployed, you may place up to 3 25mm waypoint markers anywhere on the board. Whilst within 6 inches of a friendly waypoint marker, friendly Rohan models don't suffer any penalties for moving or charging through difficult terrain. It's okay. Again,
this is a very specific board in a specific tournament against a specific army. This could be great.
I mean, the re-rolling ones against Orcs, Goblins, and Uruks is quite handy, but...
Yeah. Again, if you're coming up competitively, though, like, what's that?
Yeah. Doesn't appeal to me, really.
Yeah.
However, next up, you can cover this one, seeing as you've been banging on about it for years now.
Fiefdoms. Okay, so the biggest letdown. No, let's go through it, because, yeah, let's see how it goes. So you could take Prince Imrahil, of course, Forlong the Fat, Angbor the Fearless, Durinhir, Lord of the Blackroot Vale, Captains, Knights, Axemen of Losarnoch, Clansmen of Laemdon, Blackroot Vale Archers. So they're special rules. They only get 2. For the White City, the first turn in which this army would be broken and therefore have to take courage tests as a result of being broken, all friendly models automatically pass courage tests for being broken that turn. It's an okay one, not game changing. And then you also have leaders of the Fiefdoms. If a friendly hero charges into combat, then during the fight phase, friendly infantry models within 6 inches of the hero that share both the same faction keywords as the hero gain an additional +1 to wound bonus when making strikes. Yeah, it's basically giving infantry lances as well.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some people be like, oh, well, why are they doing that? Because, you know, they're a mounted knights. Why don't they get the +1? Because they have lances. So when they charge, they get the +1 anyway. So it's almost pointless doing that. Like, there are times that could be really handy. +1 to wound, I think, is a really handy roll. Because it's not a strength thing, so it might not affect that roll if you do strength, but +1 means 5's max kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know what points value it's actually worth running the list. Just because you sink so much into Imrahil. Maybe a non-Imrahil Fiefdoms list.
Yeah, you just run like Forlong, Angbor, Durinhir.
Yeah.
And maybe a captain.
Yeah, maybe a captain of Dol Amroth.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's just tough because as well, like, say you want to take some knights. If you want to take a captain on a horse, that's still 95 points. And then you want to go, okay, I want a horse with a banner. That's 44 points. That's insane. And yeah, like, the other warriors aren't particularly high points or anything. They're kind of pretty standard on that side. Blackroot Vale Archers aren't bad.
Yeah, they're okay.
But they're standard bows. So there is that side.
But rule of cool, James.
Yeah.
That should be your, unless you're a highly competitive player, rule of cool should be your number one decision maker.
Yeah, which is why I will still 100% use them. I'm just I feel like I'm already admitting that they won't do that well, which I feel very sad about.
I do as well, but just look at them.
They are beautiful. And they're blue.
They are. Ooh, now this list is one I do quite fancy, though there are some like negatives to it in a way. The Grief of Eomer, so you can have Eomer, Prince Imrahil, Hurin the Tall, Captain of Rohan, Captain of Dol Amroth, Captain of Minas Tirith, Warriors of Rohan, Riders of Rohan, Knights of Dol Amroth, Warriors of Minas Tirith, and Knights of Minas Tirith. Eomer's Wrath. Eomer is always treated as being under the effects of his Price of Grief special rule. Additionally, Eomer gains a bonus of +1 to his fight value on a turn in which he charges. The Price of Grief. Can you remember that rule precisely?
Isn't that the one where he's got to charge?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. As if Theoden or Eowyn.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, he's basically on a rampage.
Yeah.
Like Elladan Alva here type.
Yeah. Fear no enemy. Eomer gains the Fearless special rule. Additionally, friendly Rohan models that can draw line of sight to Eomer automatically pass any courage tests. There's no range on that either. It's just line of sight.
Yep.
And Rise of Dol Amroth. Friendly Gondor models may re-roll wound rolls of natural ones when making strikes in a turn in which they charged. Pretty good. If anything, I'd probably rather run Dol Amroth in this list.
But again, this list is centered around Eomer. Realistically, if you're doing this list, you want him mounted. If you then, so basically you're kind of looking at 140 point Eomer.
Yeah.
Okay, you go, okay, cool, let's run some Dol Amroth as well. That's at least another 160 points. That's 300 points gone if you don't even mount Imrahil.
I wouldn't even bother with Imrahil in this list. I would take Eomer,
that's what I mean.
Captain of Dol Amroth, and then, like Imrahil's just not that relevant because he's so expensive.
I know. Yeah, I think that's the issue.
They need to effort. Like, even if you just take him down 15 points, I think it becomes viable.
20 points.
I mean, that'd be nice, but it's quite a big drop.
Yeah.
I think 15 points is enough to make you go, yeah.
Well, what did it say? Like, one more knight is 11 points.
Yeah.
One more mounted knight is 20. So I feel like taking down 20 points, give him one more mounted knight with him.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like might make up a bit of a difference.
Yeah. Anyway, next up is Arno. Covered.
Yeah, that's
Army
all
of
good.
Dale.
Okay.
So this is the one with Brand.
You could do this one because this was
Okay.
one you were interested in.
So Brand, Bard II, Captain of Dale, Warrior of Dale, Knight of Dale, and Windlance.
Hey!
Skilled Bowmen. Friendly Dale models improve their shoot value to 3. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yep.
And Protect the King. Friendly models gain the Swarm Protector Brand special rule. Stoic Defense. This one I quite like. It's like a final stand, heroic stand kind of thing. Once per game at the start of any move phase before the declare heroic action step, you may declare you are using this ability. If you do, then during the move phase, friendly models cannot move during their activation, but otherwise act normally. Additionally, until the end phase of the turn, friendly models gain Dominant 2 and may re-roll any fail to wound rolls when making strikes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Say you're playing whole ground. Makes sense. One last stand in the middle, Dominant 2, you think the game's over, you're basically just going for one last hurrah.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like, Warriors of Dale, 7 points, Esgaroth Bows, 2 points, Strength 3, hitting on 3s, you're getting that kind of elf shooting at 9 points.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
However,
I'm a fan.
we will skip Battle of Fornost.
Yep.
Oh, we do. I was going to kind of say, would it make sense to quickly look at Army of Erebor? No, not Erebor. Defenders of
Erebor
Erebor.
and Dale also.
Yeah, there's Erebor and Dale.
Oh, Defenders of Erebor.
Yes, but we also do need to do Army of Erebor first.
Okay, let's just carry on in order. It's fine.
Yeah, it's almost like the order seems a bit weird to me because we'll skip Battle of Fornost because that's already done, and Kingdom of Khazad-dûm, which, as we said, is one we have already tested out, and yeah, as a fan of, I did like the Dwarf King as well. All in all, just being able to take those Khazad Iron Guard. It'd be nice to have a Ballista in there. I think if it was maybe we went to higher points, but we don't have one. Well, we don't have one built and painted. But yeah, in terms of their special rules, you get to re-roll to wound rolls of natural 1s when making strikes, which I have always openly said I'm not a fan of. I like it now. Then you have Steadfast Warriors, where basically all Dwarf Captains, Warriors, and Rangers gain Dominant 2. So you can have Dwarf Warriors at D7 with Dominant 2.
It's insane.
Not that expensive. What are they? 9 points.
Yeah.
At Dominant 2. I think that's incredible. Yeah. The Stubbornness of Dwarves, basically during a duel roll, before any rerolls have been used, if the opposition player has rolled more dice, including support models, then a single friendly Khazad-dûm model may re-roll a single d6 as part of the duel roll.
That is an insane rule.
And I love the fact they've worded it differently for this. I love that it's not being outnumbered, it's number of dice.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, because even if I shield...
Yeah, it could change it.
Yeah,
And
it's wild. Like that is such a good rule.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Honestly, competitively, this is a list I would now consider.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Potentially without Durin.
He's very, very, very good.
Like thematically, I'm always it's like with Imrahil. Like I like to have that big named hero.
Yeah.
But if I say I want to, and I go, okay, no, I'm going to go to this tournament. I just want to try and win. I generally just want to try and win. It's not about good games. It's about placing.
Yeah.
I think I'd be tempted with Dwarf King kind of general list.
Yeah.
With Rangers, Warriors, Khazad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you basically get 2 kings for the price of a Durin.
Yeah.
Which I think might work
I
out
would
pretty
definitely
nicely.
consider Dwarves for my next tournament.
Yeah.
Sure.
But along with that, you've also got Dwarven Mirrors, which I think is a really cool thing to bring into it.
I think it's a little bit gimmicky, but yeah.
I think it could be, but I think there are also times when it could be very handy. So basically, you place 2 40mm Dwarven markers onto the field after everything's been deployed. Now with these, if you are within 6 inches and someone tries to shoot you, they get -1 to their hit rolls. It's basically blinding them with light, making it harder to hit. That could be very handy.
Hello. Okay, he wants to say. We've been interrupted by a
Hello
child.
there.
Look at the telly.
You're on TV. Yeah, basically to sum up, because I can't remember exactly where I got to, if I'm within, -1 to hit. If the enemy is within, it's -1 to any courage tests, which certain things could be very useful. You've only got to be touching them like you would destroy a supply to get rid of them at any point. There we go. Kingdom of Khazad-dûm. I'm a big fan.
Army of Erebor is what we covered. Dane, Thorin, all them. And plus Biffa, Buffer, Buffer, Nori, Wall of Steel, friendly models that are supporting, gain a bonus of +1 to wound when making strikes.
That's very handy for Iron Hills.
Cool. Yeah. Each friendly hero model may once per game declare heroic combat for free.
Nice.
Each one, pretty cool. Like father, like son, whilst within 3 inches of each other, Gimli and Gloin may re-roll any fail to wound rolls when making strikes. This is a great list.
That's a fun one. Oh, I mean, it's a lot of points, but if you took, obviously, Thorin the Third Stonehelm, because he was a beast, with Gimli and Gloin, just for some fun, that could be quite fun.
Yeah, it's a savage list.
Yep.
Big fan. Dwarves at the moment are really, just competitively, because aesthetically but competitively, Dwarves are really appealing to me.
I think aesthetically, I like them. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I do, but there's things I prefer.
Yeah, we've got so many of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like they get washed out.
Yeah.
Because of the sheer numbers.
Yeah. All right, last one then is Defenders of Erebor. Over to you.
Oh, it is last. Okay. Cool. So this is basically bringing Erebor and Dale together. This is, War in the North, Last Stand type stuff. So we have the long-standing alliance. Friendly Dale models within 1 inch of a friendly Erebor model may re-roll to wound rolls of natural ones when making strikes. And friendly Erebor models within 1 inch of friendly model of Dale, blah, 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 blah. Basically re-rolling natural ones when they're around each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. A bond forged in war. At the beginning of the fight phase, at the start of the declare heroic action step, if either Dane or Brand would be considered trapped, then the other may declare a heroic combat for free. If this is successful, then they basically have to move towards that combat. Basically trying to fight back to back, standing together. Again, thematically nice. Then we have the heirs to the kingdom. At the beginning of the fight phase, at the start of the declare heroic action step, oh my god, it's getting hard now.
It is warm in here.
If either Thorin or Bard would be considered trapped, then the other may declare a heroic combat for free. If this is successful, then Thorin or Bard must use the following move to join the other's combat. Yeah, so Dane and Brand or Thorin and Bard basically get the same kind of thing. And finally, Royal Bloodlines. Friendly models treat each of Dane, Thorin, Brand, and Bard as a banner.
That's good. You can have quite widespread banners there.
Yes.
This one appeals to me, but Dale becomes less appealing because it's not hitting on 3s. The big thing with Dale is they can be quite good shooters. So
to be honest, whereas the other Erebor and Dale list I like the sound of, this one, less appealing.
Yeah. That's it then.
Yes, we will go on to Forces of Evil next time.
Yes.
So subscribe for that.
Yes.
But
and join our Patreon because why wouldn't you?
Of course.
Very quickly then, give me your most excited for list. Does that make sense? The list you're most excited for to play?
Most excited to play? Ooh, it could have been Khazad-dûm.
Yeah.
But I have just played it. It's going to be Fiefdoms. I don't expect it to be well, but I'm still very excited to try Fiefdoms.
Yeah.
I've got to go for that.
Okay. Nice.
What's yours?
I was going to say maybe the Grief of Emil looked fun. I quite fancy Dale. I do quite fancy Dale. But I think it might be Bjornings now.
Yeah, Bjornings is up there.
I was like, no for them, but now, that's changed. Anyway, let us know what lists you're most looking forward to. Not only what you're most looking forward to, but what do you think is going to sort of rise to the top competitively? I'm very, very curious to see your thoughts on that. Anything else to add?
I don't think so. Just subscribe, comment, let us know what your favourite army is that you're going to try out. Yeah. Or are there any, apart from Rangers, that have been a particular letdown?
Yeah, what needs an FAQ? Let us know. All right, guys, join the discussion down below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next time on the Tabletop Alliance.
Bye, guys.